playing Kirk Cousins.
Just takes long enough. Forgot to reach.
True.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, who cannot beat anyone ever.
Well,
who has a winning record.
No, he can, yeah. Thank you for adding it. He will whoop the shit out of you if you're 5-11.
Dolphins, you get the real good Kirk.
My favorite part of that game was him and Adam Thielen screaming at each other on the sidelines. It's like watching two corgis fight with each other. It's like neither of you guys should be raising your voice at anybody.
Right. And that was a mess for the Vikings, mess for Zimmer. The Bears defense.
I actually think Mike Zimmer might murder Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Like, might go on Craigslist or probably just Google or type into a Word document like how to hire a hitman.
Or just go to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Mike Zimmer just resigns and goes and coaches Cincinnati.
I could actually see that happening, and he would probably cut Andy Dalton for costing too much. He would just remind him too much of Kirk Cousins.
Right.
Like, I'd rather go with this Driscoll guy.
Right. So I went back and forth. I obviously, like I said, I'd rather play the Vikings than the Eagles. But Matt Nagy after the game was like, look, we just love to win. Winning is fun. And we're not going to, stop. So I'm actually all in on the don't take your foot off the gas. Don't tell guys, hey, don't play your heart out. Just beat the shit out of people and go into the playoffs with swagger.
Okay, I like it. I like it. But see, you say that because it worked.
Well, no, I say that because I understand the quote after, the mentality of hey, we got something rolling. The worst thing you can do right now is be hey, let's take our foot off the gas and we'll, the whole situation I played out where the Vikings are they want to play us again.
Yeah, it's one of those weird situations where if you did what most people call the smart thing and avoid injury, that's actually not a quality you would want in your team that's going to succeed.
And we already got
playoffs.
Injured anyway. Anthony Miller got injured, which is a problem.
Yeah, well, is he going to try to play through it? Because he's got a shoulder. That's one of those hilarious injuries where it's dislocated and they pop it back and you're I can go. But every time you
he's had it all year.
Yeah, every time you reach behind yourself to put your seatbelt on, it pops out again, and then you're just shit.
He gets out of his he gets 3 yards out of his route, and it's bam.
Yeah, he can't even jerk off anymore.
Yeah. Well, other hand.
Yeah, there you go.
The stranger. So we'll do a full preview of the playoffs on Friday, and we have to now move to Black Monday, the saddest thing in the world to talk about. These millionaire coaches getting fired from their jobs and maybe having to go be coordinators somewhere.
Listen, Big Cat, they've got families.
Consultants. Or, you ready for this, the scariest thing of all? They might have to go on TV.
Oh, that'd be rough.
They might have to go get paid $500,000 to be on ESPN.
They might have to go to a college program for a while.
No, don't say that.
With a buyout.
Don't say. Do you think they'd have to recruit? That's this.
Remember when Charlie Weiss got fired?
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy to have to go get paid $1 million to recruit.
They've got families though, is what you're forgetting, and their families will have to find a new private school in a different city. Yeah.
So we have 8 openings, and we have to lead off with the one that we never saw coming. 2003. Since 2003, Marvin Lewis has been the coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. And the best part that with Marvin Lewis getting fired, it was almost like watching death Twitter, but for a guy getting fired, because you had everyone rejoicing, and then you had the well actually show up and say, well, Marvin Lewis took a franchise that was a joke in the 90s and made them consistently into a playoff team that never won a playoff game. So Marvin Lewis actually not bad.
Well, he actually fired himself.
Yeah.
So my understanding is that Marvin Lewis was also the general manager, because they don't have one of those in Cincinnati.
Right.
So it was a mutual agreement. They mutually agreed to part ways, meaning I guess the owner asked GM Marvin Lewis, hey, should I fire the head coach? And he was like, yeah, I think we got to get rid of this asshole. And he's like, oh, shit, that's me.
Yeah.
Who's your recommendation for the next one? Hugh.
Hugh.
So Hugh is absolutely stepping up. What Marvin Lewis's firing did for me was it made me confront my own mortality.